Grad school is a big decision, but it's also an expensive move, and most students borrow large sums of cash for their advanced degrees, which begs the question, is it worth it? Dan Geltrude is a certified public accountant and a tax and business finance expert. He joins me now. So, Dan, this number kind of stood out to me. Approximately 44 million Americans hold almost $1.5 trillion in student debt. Is it worth going to grad school?
The number is staggering, and what I tell people is you really have to do a return on investment calculation, no different than any other investment you would be making. I'm going to outlay this much money. What am I going to get in return? How long is it going to take me to get that money back? And, of course, in this case, so many students having to take on debt. How much does that debt cost me? How long am I going to be paying that back for?
So how do you calculate what your return on investment could be if you spend the money and actually get that degree?
So if you want to come up with a number that you can project, for example, how much is graduate school going to cost me? Let's say it's $50,000. So you take that number and then you say, what is my interest on that number? So maybe by the time you pay it back, it's going to be $60,000, just to use as an example. Then you go to the other side of the calculation. How long is it going to take me to recoup that $60,000? Because you assume because you have an advanced degree, your compensation's going to be higher. If it's not higher, is it worth it? That's the question.
So figuring out that calculus. So at what point do you, when you're weighing this, how do you determine whether the grad school perks that you might get coming out of it will outweigh the long-term investment that you're putting in?
Well, some of that is trying to estimate what career path you're going to be on. Is that graduate degree going to open up doors that otherwise would not be available to you? Some people go to graduate school to completely change their career. So I hate to say it depends, but this is not a one-size-fits-all. It's very concise to what you want out of your career.
Are there certain industries that you feel that it really does make sense to go to grad school?
It does. When you're in the finance field, for example, you know, getting, let's say, an MBA from Columbia because you want to work on Wall Street, that really matters. It really matters in engineering because they want certain levels of qualification and employers are willing to pay for that degree to have you part of their company. So it really can make a difference.
If you end up going to grad school, it could mean, you know, deferring, maybe purchasing a home, maybe putting money into your kid's college fund. So is there anything you can do when you're deciphering whether to do this or not that could help you bring down the costs?
There are merit scholarships out there, so you do have the opportunity to get some money to help you out. I would tell people most of the time when they're in graduate school, you got to keep working, which means you have to adjust your lifestyle. You could have a situation also where an employer is willing to contribute something towards your education, perhaps in the form of an interest-free loan, or just by getting the degree, you may get a bonus or an automatic increase in salary. So again, you really have to do your due diligence to say, what is this going to get me financially?
Dan Geltrude, thank you very much for joining us, Dan.
Thank you.